What's up, boys? I fucked up. My arm, it's missing. All right, guys, as you may have seen, if you follow me on Instagram, 2 days ago on that'd make it like March 30th, I crashed the R7. And no, it didn't actually take my arm. I have a sling on. And I didn't want to put my arm through it because then I had to take the sling off and it just really hurts to do so. So I kept the sling on and just put the shirt on over it. So basically I just kind of want to give you a rundown of that day, what happened, and all the good, fun, juicy stuff. And I do have pictures for all you freaks that want to see that. So don't worry, I'll show pictures. I do apologize. I'm probably not like in the super high energy that I usually am. But I really am in a lot of pain. I just got discharged from the hospital yesterday, and it's just been kind of hard to adjust to normal life with the injuries and everything. So anyways, March 30th, I guess it was. I don't know. It was this past Wednesday. It was finally going to be a really nice warm day. As you guys know, I'm in West Virginia and the weather changes every single day. So Wednesday was going to be a really nice day, and I had a lot of content planned to get. Man, I feel like I look like really fat with my arm in here. I swear that's my arm. But I had a lot of content planned to get that day. I was going to shoot a bunch of stunt video, a lot of practice, and some twisties. It was just going to be a really fun, good day full of getting nothing but content with the boys. Start the day, it's a completely normal day. Go get in my car. I don't park my bike at my house because I don't have a garage, so get in my car to go get my bike. On the way to getting the bike, I remember I texted my girlfriend and I was like, I don't know why, but like I feel nervous about riding today. And like I don't know what it was that made me feel nervous, but there was just something that like I was like, man, I feel nervous about riding today. So yeah, which was pretty odd that I said that, and then the stuff happened later on. Anyways, I get to the bike, hop on it, and everything's going great. It had been probably like, I don't know, it'd probably been like a week since I rode. Hopped on there, warmed up the tires, was doing wheelies, everything was going good. However, there was a lot of wind on that day. I've always kind of like underestimated the wind. Everybody's told me to be cautious of the wind, but it never really affected me, like ever. It never messed with me at all, no matter what I was doing. If I was just going fast, if I was doing wheelies, it never really messed with me. So I'll do a few wheelies, and the wind actually does hit me on these other wheelies while I'm in the air, and like I said, it didn't really do anything to me. It didn't really affect me at all. So I get about, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 miles down the road. I pop it up into a staggered, standing wheelie, and I'm running out, and I felt wind hit me a little bit harder than I'm used to. So I said in my head, it's time to lay the bike down. I guess I did lay it down literally. But in my head I said, it's time to put the front tire back down. Let's get it down. As I'm coming down from that wheelie, I get hit with another big, I'm talking gust of wind, dude. I land a little wrong, and that wind keeps blowing. So when I landed a little wrong, it made my steering go into just like an uncontrollable death wobble. There was nothing I could do to change it. And it kind of popped in my head like, you're going down. And that is such a weird feeling to have. Like, something's about to happen and you have no control over it. And it really sucks because you don't know what's going to happen. So I go down. It's really hard for me to remember all the details of the actual crash, but I've thought about it, and I think this is how it went. So I'm riding the wheelie, the wind hits me, whatever. I get that death wobble after the wind hits me again, after I'm on 2 wheels. Oh, and by the way, I'm going about 70 miles an hour. So I'm going about 70 miles an hour. Everybody I've told, it's like, you're lying, you were going way over. I swear to God, I have nothing to lie about. I don't care to tell you if I was going faster, but I was going about 70 miles an hour whenever it happened. But yeah, so I don't really remember exactly how it happened, but I think I kind of went over and to the right of my handlebars. From there, the bike just kind of fell with me. I skid and rolled about 752 times, dude. Like, I was just rolling and rolling and rolling. I don't know, it felt like an eternity that I was sliding and rolling on the freaking interstate. I do remember whenever I was rolling, I could see every time I rolled to where the cars behind me, I kept checking to see if any of them were getting close to me. And fortunately, whenever I do set up for doing a wheelie, I make sure I get way ahead ahead of cars just in case if I do have a tumble. So fortunately I was far enough away from the cars that nobody had to really even slam on their brakes. They just all slowed down to a stop. I do remember whenever I was rolling, I kept landing on my knees and I kept landing on my hands. I hit my elbows a few times. You can't see because this arm's in a sling, but I hit my elbows a few times, and there is some minor road rash on my knees and my elbows, but honestly, for the speed I was going, 70's not extremely fast, but it's fast for a motorcycle crash, and I'm honestly very surprised that I don't have more road rash. But anyway, so we're finally slowing down from this roll that I'm in, this eternal roll. And I get slowed down enough to where I can get to my feet, but I have to sprint to fully slow myself down, or else I would have just kept rolling. I take off in this sprint, and I look behind me and I see the cars are still really far behind me. And then I'm like, hey dummy, get out of the middle of the interstate, you're gonna get hit. So I run off to the shoulder and I'm just running to my bike. Like, that's the first thing on my head, like I need to get to my bike. So I run to my bike, I pick up the bike, and as I'm picking it up, other cars are stopping and I see people coming to my aid. So I pick up the bike, and as I got it up, another guy comes and he helps me push it out of the road. So we get it pushed out of the road and on the kickstand. At this point, I reach for my GoPro to turn it on because I didn't have, you gotta remember, I was gonna film a lot of content that day, so I didn't wanna waste battery or waste SD card space. So I reached to turn on my GoPro so I could at least film, the aftermath of it. And it was at that point I realized that my GoPro was gone, didn't know where it was. That set in and I was like, oh man, like that was a huge bummer for me, to be honest. As bad as it sounds, my GoPro not being on my helmet really sucked. Anyways, at this point the adrenaline like really hits me. The fall hits me, the dizziness of rolling hits me, and I know like I'm about to go out, like I'm about to pass out. So I sit down, and I'm still feeling it, like I'm just like, everything is blurry, all I hear is just a buzz in my ears. And it was literally just like those like war movies that you watch where like they're in war and the buzzing sound and all that. That's exactly what it was like. But fortunately for me, a few people came to my aid, and one guy was, if I remember correctly, a lot of it's still a blur, but if I remember correctly, he used to be in the Army. That dude is a heaven-sent angel, and I fully 100% believe that if it wasn't for him, there is a huge chance that I would not be making this video right now. I know that some people probably wonder like what was going through my head at the time of like the actual crash, and really it's kind of like I just like blanked out during the rolling, and like all that was in my head was survive. Like you just have to survive no matter what. Now after the crash, there was a lot of anger, a lot of embarrassment, and a lot of fear, a ton of fear. Angry that I wrecked the bike, embarrassed that I wrecked the bike in front of everybody, and fear that I might not make it out of this. So I'm laying there, and the guy's, telling me everything I need to do, lay back. He's got a freaking med kit with him, like some Fortnite stuff, got the Medi Betty. But he's got like a med kit, he's assessing all my wounds. I'm gonna pop up a picture of my gloves, and for anybody that gets squeamish or doesn't like blood or anything, this is a trigger warning. If you don't want to see it, just skip ahead to the timestamp that I put up here and it'll be off the screen. Luckily, I had those Alpine Star, they're kind of like track rated gloves, and that really saved my pinky a lot, because the pinky and ring finger were sewed together on those gloves. So the gloves I had on were pretty good, saved my hands. The pinky is really the only damage I had to my hand. Right now it's, as far as we know, it's just fractured and, severely cut up. But however, whenever I did initially land, or just sometime in my roll, I did completely snap my collarbone. That really freaking sucks. So anyways, as I'm waiting there and sitting there, waiting for, whatever to happen, it clicks in my head like, I need to call 911. So I call 911. Fortunately, somebody had already called 911, and they were like, is this your wreck? And I was like, yeah, that's me. Like, they're like, okay, we've already got people coming your way. Cool. So then I'm like, okay, I need to let my family know. Having to call my mom was probably the worst part, because I knew, motherly instinct, she is going to freak out. And I'm like, gosh dang it, she's going to hate me for this. So I call her, and the big mistake I made here is I didn't give myself enough time to calm down. I was still very, high adrenaline dump, and also very in and out of it, on my deathbed basically. So I call her, and I sound absolutely horrible. I'm kind of wrecked. And she starts freaking out, and I'm like, look, I gotta go. Like, I don't know. Hang up. Then I call my girlfriend, and I let her know I was a little bit more, you know, I guess you could say conscious whenever I called her. And I'm sitting there, and this guy that, you know, is helping me out and saving me, I was like, dude, do you think I should I call my mom back now that, like, I'm a little bit more there and a little bit more conscious? And he's like, yeah, dude, like, you need to call her back because you sounded awful. So I call her back, and I'm normal. She's crying hysterically and doing mom things. And I let her know, like, hey, like, don't freak out. Like, I'm good. I'm conscious. I'm awake. But my pinky's pretty messed up. You want to see it? And the guy that's helping me out, he was like, don't show her the pinky, don't show her the pinky. And I was like, never mind, this guy says not to show you my pinky, I'm not going to show you the pinky. You know, it's crazy to me. I've never had a serious crash like this. I've never had a serious injury I've never even broken a bone in my body. So I mean, people survive more gnarly crashes than this, but you know, in that moment, like, I truly 100% believe that there is a huge chance that, like, I was, like, in that moment that, like, I was not going to make it, and like I was going to die there. And that's kind of like I mean, I say kind of, but it's a really crappy feeling, and it makes you think about things. Yeah, thankfully I had somebody there to help me out, and thankfully the medics got there pretty quick. I get to the hospital, and I think I still had some adrenaline in me. I'm cracking jokes with the paramedics. They have the trauma team. I guess I'm a trauma patient, so when I get to the hospital, they take me to a trauma room, and there's like 20 freaking doctors and nurses, and they wheel me in. I was like, hey, it's a party. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. And then the pain started to kick in, and then the nauseousness kicked in, and everything kicked in. The hospital was horrible, and there was a lot of times there that I was like, you know, there's something seriously wrong with me. I'm a huge hypochondriac naturally too, so I was like, you know, there's totally something wrong with me. I am absolutely screwed. I'm gonna die. So they put me in the neck brace. I was trying to avoid it. The paramedics didn't put me in one, and when I initially got to the hospital, they didn't put me in one. But then I'll figure out who you were. Somebody had to remember that I needed to be in a neck brace, and they put me in one, which is, it's a good thing. If I had a neck or back injury, then it's a good thing to be in it, but dang it, I hate those things. They put me in the neck brace. I have to go get a CT scan for my whole body. Whenever you're a trauma patient, they do so many scans on you and checks. It's insane. They put like 6 IVs in me to get blood from different places. I still don't really know what the reason was for that, but they did it. The CT scan, if you've ever had one of those done, they put a dye in your IV, and it makes you feel really warm. I've had one done before, but not like as a trauma patient. I don't know if it's just because I was a trauma patient, but they freaking pumped that IV or that dye into my IV, and like I was hot for so long, and that made me super sick. Thought I was gonna puke, but everything checked out good, and then we go to the x-ray machine, and that's where we find out the collarbone is completely broke, and the pinky is completely broke. I'll post up some images right now. If you're a little bit squeamish to injuries or anything, I'm going to put a timestamp here. Skip to here if you don't want to see the pictures. For you sick son of a guns like me that want to see the pictures, here they are. So this is my collarbone. As you can see, it is completely broken. Here is a picture of the pinky after we washed it, this is after we unwrapped it, but before we wash it again. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Yeah, guys, I think the hardest part about this, honestly, I mean, the injuries do suck. I'm in tremendous pain. I'm in extreme pain just recording this video. Nothing feels good except for laying down. But I honestly think like the worst part is you guys, like not being able to do YouTube for a while. I'm still going to be pushing out content, and I'm still going to try to keep with the upload schedule, but it's not going to be a lot of riding videos because I can't ride. My collarbone's broke, you know? And that was probably the hardest part for me, like whenever that reality set in and kicked in, that like, you know, I've worked so freaking hard on this YouTube and keeping my upload schedule and editing and so much time away from family, friends. I've sacrificed a lot, and I'm not trying to like throw a big pity party for myself or anything, but it really sucked whenever I realized like, wow, this could potentially kill my YouTube channel because I'm not going to be able to provide the content that the people subscribe for. Like I said, like that's been the hardest thing to come to realization with is, you know, my dream, my passion, like that could go away, you know. So, but we're gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna continue to upload videos. I've got a few videos planned that are gonna be coming up. Unfortunately, I don't have any pre-recorded riding footage, but we're gonna make up some stuff. The bike, here's some pictures of the bike. The bike's really not too messed up. The bar ends are gonna need replaced. The brake lever is gonna need replaced. I'll probably have to get new clip-ons. The exhaust, as you can see in this picture, is pretty messed up. I don't even know how that happens. I haven't got to hear it. All these pictures are coming from buddies that came and picked up my bike for me. Which, a side note, man, like, huge shout out to you, Brandon, Tyler, Colin, for coming and picking up my bike. Like, Scott, I really appreciate that. Like, I don't know what I can do to repay you, but that really meant a lot to me that you were there. Also, huge shout out to just everybody. The amount of love I got on Instagram, DMs, text messages, calls, family. My girlfriend's been an incredible help. I'm actually staying at her house and she's been taking care of me. She insists that she's gonna have to wipe my butt, but I'm not gonna let her. But no, for real, like, huge shout out to her, my mother, my father, just everybody in the family, my entire support group. Huge shout out to, I don't want to say his name because I want to respect his privacy, but the person that stopped and potentially saved my life. Huge shout out to you, man. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna end this video. I don't know how I'm gonna edit with my left hand. I'm right hand dominant, so I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to edit a video with my left hand. But yeah, I really appreciate you watching this, and if there's one thing that you can take away from this video is life is gonna knock you down whenever you're at your highest. Life's gonna test you. Life's gonna do what it can to prove that you have what it takes, such as wrecking your motorcycle or getting fired from your job. But it's up to you to show life, hey, like, that's not gonna keep me back. I'm gonna continue to push and I'm gonna accomplish my dreams and my passions. And it's up to you to prove life wrong, I guess you could say. So never stop pushing, never stop pursuing your passions, and we'll be back, and we'll be back better than ever. Yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Should I wave with my little stub here? I'm doing a wave with the sling arm. Peace out, guys.